Hello everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of AMA Air. I'm Chris Savage.
And I'm Erin Dobbs. Today we're bringing you something a little different.
We've received a lot of comments from our viewers related to drones. They've ranged from excitement about the possibilities that they bring to anger that they're being acknowledged at all. There are some viewers, I think, that are watching this today, Erin, that are going to see the word drone and immediately feel like, you know what, this episode probably isn't for me because I'm not in that category that's really excited about this new technology. And I hope and I encourage those viewers to stick with us, and I think you're going to be rewarded with something that's maybe not what you're expecting right now. I know that this type of conversation that we're having right now isn't the first time that we've had a conversation like this in the hobby. And Erin, you've been here a lot longer than I have been. Can you tell me a little bit about how we've seen this kind of thing occur in the past?
Well, just since 1999, when I started here, I've seen the same conversations with helicopters, park flyers, and electric models. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this is just another conversation that we're having about a new technology entering the world of model aviation.
So we had the really unique privilege over the last few months to have an intern from Ball State University working with us here. And he had been with us a couple of years ago as well. And he's not a modeler. He didn't have a modeling background, but he started to hear these conversations really from the outset. And he felt like what was missing was a piece that explained not necessarily why drones or multirotors, as they really are good, or why multirotors are bad, but something that explained more about just generally what our position is in the hobby right now,
right.
Kind of the state of our union related to that technology, how we got here, mm-hmm. and what the future might look like based on what we know right now.
Right.
So I think to help get this conversation started as the next one in our hobby right now, I'd like everybody to take a look at the drone issue.
Hi, I'm Nick Merling. As an employee of the AMA, I've always been taken aback at how kind and welcoming this community is to everyone. It's a great place to learn and grow in the hobby of model aviation. Here's an inside look at a controversial issue that is captivating the aero modeling community. This is the drone issue.
Anyone who's been to our museum will see an exhibit about drones, and the interesting thing is drones have their origins in military. You'll see some of the very first drones, which are military drones, even back to the early turn of the century. Drones today are still generally military driven. They tend to be autonomous, they tend to be flown with a mission or an intent, but the media has assigned the term drone to really any model that flies.
While the AMA and its members generally designate the term drone for military aircraft, the media has had other ideas. They've aggressively cast their wide drone net to include other types of models, chief among them, the quadcopter.
Well, I think for a while the military has had the technology of fixed-wing drones and that stuff, and the media didn't have a word for it when these started coming out, so drone was what they jumped on. Maybe because quadcopter wasn't mainstream, and so I think it's just turned into that, and that's the word they use now.
So with a cool new product on the market in need of a catchy name, the drone label snuck in like a droid onto an X-wing. These multi-rotor vehicles are being implemented in fresh, creative ways that both entertain and improve our way of life. Drones are being used to survey crops, aid with search and rescue, research wildlife, and offer relief to third world countries. You've likely heard of a few other possibilities that are on the horizon as well.
This amazing innovation then lowers itself slowly to the ground, drops off the package, and flies straight back up to altitude.
I believe because it's such a fad and there's so many people in it, it'll be evacuated that quickly. People, it comes along and it crashes just as fast, that people get burned out. So I think it's got to run. I don't know how long that run will be.
But in pop culture, drones aren't showing any signs of burning out. It's that edgy appeal combined with the multirotor's ease of use that has them flying off the shelves. Though oftentimes, they're flying into untrained hands.
Okay guys, I got a drone.
The technology for model aircraft is much more affordable. It's easier to operate. And as a result, we have a lot of more modelers out there than we did just a few years ago. And that's a good thing. But the trade-off is it's much easier just to buy a model, go out in your backyard and start flying without any sort of education. It's easy to classify these people as bad actors. I don't think they're necessarily intending to do wrong. They just don't know better.
He's fine. He's fine. He's probably fine. I don't know if he's fine. It's funny whether he's fine or not.
For most aero modelers, the way drones are being received isn't a laughing matter.
That's not what I do, and that's not what my friends do. We fly outside for fun with each other.
The consensus in the AMA is practically unanimous. Inexperienced flyers are tarnishing the hobby's good name. They've raised a litany of new privacy and safety concerns that have forced the Federal Aviation Administration to take action.
The FAA in 2014 started to draw a line in the sand and say, you know, model aircraft are now being considered as aircraft. If a model can navigate in the airspace like an aircraft, we need to start treating them like aircraft. So as a result, we're starting to see a few more regulations being imposed on model aircraft, not just multirotors and not just drones, but every model.
We're under a microscope now where we weren't. I'm really hoping that they get sorted out here, that the modelers can go back to modeling. The competitors like me, I do mostly competition, can go back to competing.
I mean, it may sound kind of unfair and stuff like that, but I think if in order to get a drone, they have to read regulations and be a part of AMA, kind of, so everybody's on the same page and knows the regulations and stuff like that.
Most modelers think it's a small minority that is misusing the technology. That's it. At the same time, many believe that this is an exciting opportunity for the entire aero modeling community.
I try to remember that they are bringing more people into the hobby that might get into flying fixed wing, as what is my true love.
I think any organization that isn't open to being inclusive, they're really running the risk of, basically, stagnating.
We want to educate as many people in the hobby as possible. And I think that's really what's going to solve the problem is drones and multirotors, they have a place in the industry. In the commercial industry, it has a promising future. It's even finding its place in the recreational community with racing and just as a fun recreational sport. And I think it could thrive that way if we can get and educate as many people as possible about how to do it safely.
And education is on the rise. Efforts like the Know Before You Fly campaign and UAS for STEM encourage safety while also transforming young flyers into allies of the model aviation community.
The multi-rotor stuff has been something that's very easy for a lot of kids to get involved in. A lot of them have gotten them for Christmas and things like that. So we've been able to take that, build on it, get the kids interested, and be able to get them out here flying and actually at a club feel, getting to see other aspects of the hobby as we've got some of the demo aircraft and things here as well.
We're dying for some youth in our deal. We struggle for as much as anybody, especially in the racing. But I have faith that we can do it.
We have stats that prove education is working. In the FAA's latest drone analysis report, we're seeing a decline in sightings as we increase education. So I think you're going to see more people come into the hobby and enjoy the sport and enjoy the fun family recreational aspects of the hobby. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see our hobby shift as new technologies are being introduced into the model aircraft industry.
The same spark that ignited aero modeling into existence a century ago has been born anew in multirotors, or rather, in drones.
So I think the end of that video said it better than I could say it on my own, and that is that it's been a really, really long time, probably looking back to some of the earliest days of aviation, that there's been something that has gotten the general public so excited.
And just to talk about it amongst themselves and to be engaged.
Absolutely, just something that gets people excited about things that fly. And I think that we're in a very, very interesting and unique position right now. Us here in the building and our viewers as part of the organization, to be part of the organization that is going to shape how these small unmanned aircraft are integrated into our hobby space.
Right, and just in our conversations in general. So, you know, right now it's drones and multicopters. In another 10 years, we don't know what it'll be, so it'll be another conversation.
Absolutely.
That being said, thanks again for joining us on AMA Air. We look forward to seeing you next time.